This is Brad Kuvin. I'm the editorial director of Metal Forming Magazine at the Precision Metal Forming Association. We are here podcasting from FABTECH in Orlando, and I'm pleased to welcome to our Destiny of Manufacturing podcast, Adrian Little. Welcome, Adrian.
Welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice to be here.
Yes,
Thank you, Brad.
thanks for joining us. So Adrian is the president of JETechnology. So why don't you tell us a little bit about JETechnology and how you came to be with the company and your role there?
Yeah, sure. I'm president of JETechnology, JETechnology Solutions. We actually design and manufacture aircraft ground support equipment. That's a large genre, but in that, we specialize in fall protection equipment, which is basically scaffolding on steroids, aircraft maintenance stands. So a lot of our equipment goes around military aircraft such as F-16, F-15, A-10s. So instead of the military using step ladders or scissor lifts, we have customized equipment that surrounds the entire aircraft that allows them to do safety checks, depot level maintenance. They'll change out electronics, upgrade the entire aircraft, and it allows them to do it in a safe and effective way.
So can you describe a little bit more what this equipment looks like? Is this like some type of structures that you erect around the planes?
So it's literally like scaffolding that you would get from Home Depot, but it's not as rickety. It's not rickety at all. It's on steroids. Yeah. So we're using oversized aluminum members. It has customized pieces we call sliders that'll conform to the contour of the aircraft. Okay. Not every aircraft has straight angles, or it's nice, it's not shaped like a square or a box, right? So it allows it to fill in gaps in which to prevent anyone from slipping in or falling or getting hurt.
And you were telling me earlier that falls is a big cause. Is it the number one cause?
Yes,
of downtime?
It's the number one cause. The number one cause for missed time in our Department of Defense.
Wow.
Slips and falls.
Okay. So you must have some pretty good stories of improvements that you've provided to the various customers.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of times we get calls on near misses, or someone has fallen, and there's an EHS manager, environmental health and safety manager at the facility or for the squadron that comes in and says, "Hey, we can no longer do this," or it's a commander that comes in and has that on their mind. It's safety is priority. It's priority one, right? And then we'll get a call.
Yeah. Okay. So what's your history in the manufacturing and fabricating space, and how did you get to JETechnology?
That's a great question. I had none.
Okay.
I had zero.
That's fair.
Zilch. And but I always wanted to start my own business, and I worked for, I believe, 5 or 6 years in different industries. Medical, defense, for small businesses. Okay. And was given a project. One of my managers gave me a project and said, "Hey, we'd like for you to design this special trailer that was going to house their antenna." And I said, "I've never designed anything that big, and who's going to do it?" And he said, "Well, you will." And kind of fast forward, had success doing that, did it multiple times, and in that, I kind of determined, if I could do that, I can do this on my own. And it was just kind of that really gave me the confidence to go out on my own. And I just made the connection between the aircraft maintenance stands, which are large weldments, and this trailer, which is a large weldment. Okay. And just kind of followed it, did it, and that's kind of where we are today.
Yeah, fascinating. Yeah. So how big is the company today?
We currently have 27 great employees, 47,500 square foot facility.
Wow. You're here in Florida?
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. Okay. About 3.5 acres.
Fantastic. So we're talking lasers, press brakes, welding. Can I give us a quick tour of the
so
shop?
I tell people first of all, when folks visit us, they're amazed about what we do because it's not readily apparent on the outside. But once you get into our facility, it's really manufacturing at its finest. We take in raw material, we take in raw extrusions, We take in raw plate. You'll see a water jet. You'll see a press brake. You'll see a a couple band saws. You'll see chop saws.
Okay.
We have large weldment tables, machine shop, and assembly, a paint booth and assembly. I mean, we do it from front to back.
Wow. Okay. And most of the projects, are they custom?
Definitely.
Because like you said, you got to fit around the different contours of the
Yeah,
planes,
I mean, no one wakes up one day and says, you know what? I want an F-16 aircraft maintenance tech, right? No one does that, right? So generally, it's a niche, obviously, but generally, folks that come to us, they have a need. They have a definite need, and we'll guide them. We'll guide them.
Right.
Offer our expertise, because we cloud ourselves as being the fall protection experts. So we'll walk them through that process. And what makes us unique is that although the product is a scaffold, a piece of scaffolding on steroids, it's making sure it's really making sure that we've met the customer's needs, we've met OSHA's requirements,
sure,
and then also the basis requirements, because sometimes OSHA and EHS they may not agree. So we make sure our design engineers will go out and visit, and we just make sure that, hey, look, that we've met everyone's requirements.
Okay. So one of the reasons I think you're here at the show, one of the reasons is for this panel discussion that you were a part of. Was that today?
That was yesterday.
Yesterday.
Right.
So tell us about that panel discussion. I think you were focused on enhancing efficiency in your operations, right? So how did that conversation go, and what were some of the kind of the takeaways from that panel discussion?
Yeah, that was great. It was on kind of embracing change in our workforce, and just kind of with the pandemic, that caused our whole economy to reset. So our employees start to think about what matters, like why are we doing this?
Okay.
So from a leadership standpoint, we had to answer these questions, right? So we not only had to answer these questions, had to learn how to communicate, and really, handle change. We just had 2 hurricanes come through Florida within 3 weeks.
Yes.
So it's mental health. So how do we do that? How do we incorporate not only those things, but other external forces such as competition, such as customer wants, customer needs changing, technology, and then move forward and continue to deliver a great product and a great service?
So are there changes that you've put into place at JETechnology since COVID, or how did you help your employees get through that? How did you help your employees get through the hurricane situation? Is there anything you want to share with us on some of that?
Totally.
Yeah.
Communication. We take more time to set aside communication. Feedback is a gift. Feedback from our employees, feedback from our customers, our vendors. We want to know how we're doing. How can we improve? Everything's people-based.
Right.
Our entire supply chain is people-based.
Yeah.
So it behooves us to pay attention.
Yeah.
And it behooves us to play offense and be in front of it. Right? We can be reactive, but who wants to be reactive? Right? It puts you in a bad spot, right? And we want to be able to have as much control of our destiny as possible. Setbacks are going to come. Things are going to come. Hey, could be another hurricane next week.
Yeah.
Right. There's nothing we can do about it. Right. It's how we handle it.
Okay. So following up on that, then, is there anything specific that you care to share that you've done? Is it more walkthroughs to plant by yourself, or your managers are doing more proactive reach outs to your employees? Or
yeah, that's really what it comes down to. Just being
accessible, and being available,
being intentional about it. Right. It's not an afterthought. It's being intentional. Will you? Is it on your schedule?
Yeah.
And then following up, did we?
Yeah.
Right. And making sure.
That's fantastic. So other than the panel discussion yesterday, as you're walking the show today, I don't know if you're going to be here tomorrow as well. But
yes, we will.
Is there any technology specifically that you're interested in for JETechnology down the road?
Yes. So with the just with the lack of available resources in the skilled trade, right? I think that's everyone's crying the same thing. Absolutely, right? Yep. Because it's real. Baby boomers are retiring. There's a lot less people coming into the workforce. It's just sheer numbers.
Right.
I've been following this thing for the last couple years, going to our MEP conferences and just hearing it from an HR point of view. It's a sheer numbers issue.
Right.
Right. It's a sheer numbers. So what did we do? We didn't get here overnight, and we're not going to get out of it overnight. So we feel that we have to take almost a two-prong approach. One, making sure that educational institutions know about us. So getting to them early. So we do tours with Valencia College. It's our local college here. Sure. Their welding school comes through.
Okay.
We do that at least once a quarter. So they come through, we give them a nice tour, introduction about our company, so that they know we exist. We're being more intentional about going to the colleges, going to local high schools, back to school drives, just making sure that everyone knows that these children know that it's a great discipline. It's a great job to get, right? You can actually see yourself matriculating through, and you can see a life, because once someone gets their vision and can see themselves going through, it makes it that much easier.
Absolutely.
It makes it that much easier.
Right.
So that's one approach, right?
Okay.
On the back end is automation. It's coupling it. And that's what we're looking for here. We've already purchased a robotic welder. So we have that on the floor. We're very excited about that. We're training our current welding staff with that. Nice. And not so much as a replacement, because I think that's what a lot of people think, that, hey, look, we're going to be replaced by this. But no, it's an addition. It's an additional tool. Right. It's an additional tool. And so we're looking for, how can we automate? And we automated, and it's really front to back that we've evaluated our company, from the corner office to shipping and receiving. What are we doing that can be automated? Okay. Our billing, our collections cannot be automated, right? And we've done that. And so we've really, if you talk to our accountant, she's got a lot more free time than what she's had before, because we've been able to automate some payment processes. And she's come to me and said, hey, look, Adrian, thank you for doing this. Yeah. Like, I understand your pain, right? But that's part of getting that feedback from our folks.
And now she's got time to do maybe.
And now she's got time to do value added things. That's the most important thing. We want to do value added things, not just things just to pass the time. Right.
So automating on the plant floor, are you looking at, or have you automated some of those processes? Your brakes or your lasers or whatever.
Yes. So welding, we're looking at automating. Right. We're looking at automating on our. We're looking at running lights out for our CNC machine shop. So not only getting machines that could run, obviously lights out, but they need loading.
Sure.
So that requires a cobot. So, hey, we want to automate that. Also, we currently have a water jet. Can that run lights out? I don't know.
Yeah.
So we may have to go to a laser or something else, right? That allows us to do that.
I got you.
Currently, we run a lot of extrusions through our machine shop. We want to take those out. Maybe get a large machining center that allows us to combine steps, cutting, and the machining in one, right? Okay. And do the loading with a cobot. So we're looking at all of those things to see where it fits with us.
You're in the right place to see a lot of automation equipment.
Right.
There's just robots and cobots all over the place.
Everywhere. That's right.
Everybody's talking about automation. I just was at a booth where they're showing AGVs and AMRs, to connect the cutting to the bending.
Right.
So they're just automatically loading cut parts onto an AGV, and the AGV runs over to the press brakes, and the robot
picks them up.
The press brake picks up the parts and puts them in.
That's amazing.
Pretty neat.
That's amazing, Brad. I just this week we were sitting around. I was talking to my ops manager, and he said we were thinking about we made a list. These are the items that we want to go check out here at FABTECH.
Yeah.
And one of them was, hey, we're having issues with part marking. We're having issues with part marking.
Okay.
Right. We make a lot of parts on the water jet. Some of them may get, they're not identified.
Yeah.
So he said, "Hey, I want to get a part scanner so we can put the part number on it."
Sure.
Okay, cool. That sounds good. So then I walk through the floor. I see I go by a vendor, a laser cutter, and I wasn't even asking him about it. And he says, "Oh yeah, it does part marking as it cuts."
Yeah.
And then it cuts the part. And I was like,
bingo.
there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So, but it's combining those steps, right?
Yeah.
It's combining those steps.
But that's why you go to a show like this,
Because
you don't know it exists until you come here and
exactly.
until you come here and see
Exactly.
it. Right? Yeah, that's awesome.
Exactly.
So before I let you go, our podcast host of the Destiny of Manufacturing, Dean Phillips, he always likes to ask his guests, and I'll ask you, your one key takeaway the next 3 to 5 years in the manufacturing space as you view it. What's kind of that one key takeaway? Is it the skilled labor issue and how we're tackling it, or what do you see?
Yeah, that's a good question, Brad. I do believe it's skilled labor, but with that, it's the automation piece as well. As I mentioned earlier, we didn't land here by happenstance. We landed in this deficit kind of after the world wars, where it was kind of driven home that, hey, manufacturing, don't do manufacturing. Go to school, go to college, be a lawyer, be a doctor.
Right.
And so it's got a stigma. And we've got to take our chance. We've got to turn that. We've got to turn that tide to show people that, hey, you can make a good living in manufacturing. And a lot of it is not what you think it is. It's not a bunch of pollution. It's not just smoke pipes going up in the air, right? You make a lot of cool things, right? And we want to make it attractive just as much as anything, right? But it's going to take all of us working together in the manufacturing, in industry, FABTECH, working together, all of these pieces,
right,
to change this.
It sounds like you're doing your part.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Play my small piece.
There you go. Well, I appreciate you being here, and thank you for joining the Destiny of Manufacturing.
All right, thank you, Brad.
Great.